Is Zion Williamson joining Ja Morant and the Grizzlies next season? There have been rumors around the league that Zion wants out of New Orleans. And these rumors have been buzzing in the league since Zion was drafted. Now that Zion and Ja Morant have become closer basketball buddies, the question must be answered. Does Zion Williamson actually want to ditch the Pelicans and play for the Grizzlies? The bond between Zion and Ja runs quite deep, as they both were starters on the same AAU team. Then, in the 2019 NBA Draft, Zion Williamson and Ja Morant were the number 1 and number 2 picks. Since then, they have both shown that they are top-tier offensive players. Speculations peaked again recently regarding Zion's desire to ditch the Pelicans, as a video of the two talking during the recent Grizzlies-Pelicans matchup went viral on Twitter. Fans couldn't resist wondering what was said between the two. One thing is for sure, it is highly unlikely that the New Orleans Pelicans will opt to trade Zion Williamson. He is without a doubt a future mega NBA superstar. Plus, with the instruction of Coach Willie Green, they've developed a unique winning culture. A Zion trade would just hinder that winning streak. But just for the suspense and thrills of a fantasy basketball team, if the Memphis Grizzlies were to get Zion Williamson and put him next to Ja Morant, that would give them an electric star duo powerhouse of insane athleticism and skill. The Grizzlies would definitely become much more exciting. Both Zion Williamson and Ja Morant have really bright futures ahead of them. With them as assets, their teams both have great young cores, and it'll be exciting to see what they accomplish during their careers. Likewise, it'll also be amazing to see these two upcoming mega superstars go head-to-head against each other on the court. Zion Williamson will make the New Orleans Pelicans a dangerous team next season. And, on the same note, Ja Morant has played a huge role in the Memphis Grizzlies becoming a contender. What would the Pelicans be without Zion Williamson? The New Orleans Pelicans are now going to be playing in the play-in tournament, after starting the season 1-12. No one can deny it. Even without Zion, the Pelicans have been a pretty good basketball team led by Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, who truly display some legit talent. The Pelicans' starting five includes McCollum, Herbert Jones, Ingram, Jackson Hayes, and Jonas Valanciunas. The lineup has a very good mix of young guns and veterans. So, imagine if Zion was back in that lineup. The Pelicans would have 3 all-star caliber players on their roster. Plus, the Pelicans have most of their important players under contract, so they do not need to worry about anyone leaving in free agency. But, truth be told, the Pelicans must worry about keeping Zion for the long haul. Although it's true that it would be disadvantageous for the Pelicans to trade Williamson, they would get a lot of value for him. Don't forget that just last season, Zion averaged 25.7 points, 7 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game. Also, that was just in Zion's second season in the NBA. The young man has a long career ahead of him. So, when it comes down to actually making a move, Zion controls the outcome of New Orleans' future, depending on what he actually decides to do. If he stays, New Orleans can have a mini big three with Zion, Ingram, and McCollum. If he forces his way out of New Orleans, the Pelicans could get a load of draft picks or another star to add to the Pelican lineup. Fortunately for the New Orleans Pelicans, no matter what Zion chooses, the Pelicans can benefit either way. The real question would be, can the Pelicans capitalize on this opportunity? As for the surveys from the fans, they're certainly hoping Zion does stay because the Pelicans will be must-watch TV. Unfortunately, this all stems from Zion Williamson's injury, which has benched him for the entire season. The power forward nicknamed Zion Xanos, a play off the ultra-strong Marvel character Thanos, broke his right foot during an off-season workout in the summer. He's still young and perhaps he didn't know his own strength. Even though he went through a rehab period, it was marked with several setbacks. It was actually quite a wild roller coaster ride. Yet, even with those obstacles, the New Orleans Pelicans won't dare trade Zion Xanos Williamson. Let's have a trip to the past to understand why. Starting at the age of 9, Zion was focused on basketball training. Before the start of his high school freshman year, he could already dunk. By the time he was a junior, Zion averaged 36.8 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game, and led his team, the Spartanburg Day, to their second straight SCISA Region 1 2A title. Also in his junior year, Max Preps named him National Junior of the Year and also gave him high school All-American first-team honors. Zion's senior year was similar with big credits as he led the Griffins to their third straight title. After the season, he was named South Carolina Mr. Basketball and was runner-up for Mr. Basketball USA. He then headed to Duke, and after one season at Duke, it was clear to see that Zion had the mastery of basketball to compete in the big leagues. Through a combination of jaw-dropping highlights and excellent production, Zion dominated the 2018-19 college basketball season. The 6'7" forward joined R.J. Barrett and Cam Reddish to give Duke the top recruiting class in the nation. Over the season, he averaged 22.6 points on 68% shooting, 8.9 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 2.1 steals, and 1.8 blocks. He made his debut against Kentucky in the Champions Classic with 28 points and 7 rebounds in the win. Zion Zanos had 14 double-doubles, including a season-high 35 points and 10 rebounds in a loss to Syracuse. He missed the last 6 games of the regular season after suffering a grade 1 knee sprain against North Carolina in which his shoe ripped, which made for some really entertaining TV. He then returned for the ACC tournament and averaged 27 points and 10 rebounds to help the Blue Devils take the championship. Duke advanced to the Elite Eight of the Big Dance, and Williamson scored at least 23 points in each NCAA tournament game. Among his many accolades were AP Player of the Year, ACC Player of the Year, and the Naismith Award. After one season with Duke, Williamson declared for the 2019 NBA Draft and was selected with the first overall pick by the New Orleans Pelicans. Then from there, Zion was beset with a frustrating injury that is still plaguing Zion, his teammates, and his fans. It all occurred during the offseason. At first, it seemed that it was a severe sprain, and perhaps after a week or two, Zion would just be able to stay off his feet for a while to recover. But upon doctors' close analysis, it was clear that his foot was not only fractured, but it required surgery. The Pelican front office originally decided to keep the news about Zion's injury quiet. But finally, by the fall of 2021, hopes for a quick recovery were decimated, and the Pelicans had to announce the awful news. Then, there was a shimmer of hope. Results from his rehab tests were positive, and doctors cleared him to participate in full basketball activities. Unfortunately, that was a false diagnosis. By the end of November, Zion began to experience acute pains of soreness in his surgically repaired right foot. This effectively put a full stop on his basketball activities, placing him 2 steps back. Skip rehab, back to the doctor's table. There, he was given injections in his foot and told he might have to revisit the surgery table. Fortunately, Zion's prayers were answered in March as news came out that Zion's injury was not only headed for recovery, but the dreaded second surgery was no longer necessary. According to Shams Charania, the senior NBA insider for The Athletic, Zion Williamson has been seen doing stationary shooting, and he can now put weight on his foot. He also reportedly returned to the team a few weeks ago and has been attending home games, appearing to be in positive spirits around teammates and coaches, which is exactly what fans saw when he was buddy-buddy with Ja Morant. Will Zion Zanos actually leave the New Orleans Pelicans to double up with old friend Ja Morant? It doesn't seem likely to happen, but whatever happens, it's all in the hands of Zion Williamson himself. What do you hope happens? Would you like to see Zion stay with the Pelicans or get traded to the Grizzlies and join his old buddy Ja Morant? And if New Orleans were to trade Zion, who would be the best asset to the Pelicans squad in your opinion?